Now, as the country braces itself for a possible rise in coronavirus cases, this weekend, some are turning their attention to the place where the deadly disease originated.
Well, animal rights activists are leading calls to ban live animal markets and end the illegal sale of wildlife. So we're joined now by Carys Bennett from PETA to tell us more. Good morning, Carys.
Morning,
we're
Carys.
hoping to be joined by Dr Jane Goodall, who is an expert in global wildlife and environmental conservation. With a little bit of luck, she's a primatologist, person who studies primates. We'll hopefully get a line to her in just a moment. Having said that, Carys, I want to have a word with you about the market in Wuhan and markets similar to that, wet markets, exotic markets. Can you explain what they are?
Well, PETA is calling for the ban on the live animal trade because these markets, which are selling bushmeat, so wild animals that have been killed right in front of people out in the open, they are breeding grounds for diseases. I'll read off a list of some of the animals that were killed at the Wuhan market. You've got peacocks, deer, bats, dogs, snakes, wolf pups, badgers, pigs, pangolins, foxes. It goes on. There was around 100 different species there. They're crammed into tiny cages. So you can see here they're stacked one on top of each other as well.
These animals are kept together in obviously close proximity to humans, also I'm assuming to food, and also when it comes to animals from different parts of the world, different parts of the food chain. Some live high up, some live low down. None of that should be kept together.
Exactly. You've got the mixture of both domesticated animals and wild animals, which have been brought in, so many different species. And we know that zoonotic diseases, so diseases in humans that come from animals, are extremely common. 75% of emerging infectious diseases now in humans come from animals. So we've got COVID-19, but we've had others in the past. So SARS, the outbreak in 2002, came from civet cats and was then passed on to humans. And this also came from a wet market in China. So we're calling for the World Health Organization to ban live animal markets, but not just in China, around the globe as well, because it's a global problem.
Well, I was going to say, actually, because this isn't just in China or Asia. In fact, there are wet markets in Germany, in New York also. So this isn't just a Chinese issue, is it?
Absolutely. It is global. They're in Africa, Europe, America, everywhere when you think about it. For example, in New York, there's over 80 live animal markets and abattoirs in the city. A lot of the time there's chickens, live chickens there that are killed. And we know that bird flu can be passed from chicken to human just by touching the feathers of chickens or by handling chicken flesh. So it's a really serious problem.
Bearing in mind that these markets form part of a tradition, a lot of the animals there are questionably used in Chinese medicine. How easy is it going to be to change the course of the culture in China?
It's not an easy thing to do, but when you think about who are the customers that are eating these exotic wild animals like pangolin flesh or bats, it's actually a luxury market. It's very wealthy people that are doing this, that are using Chinese medicine as well. It's not the everyday people. So it would be relatively easy to put bans into place. And we've got to do this for our health. When are we going to make this change to secure the health of everyone around the world? You know, we're asking people to change jobs and not to farm these animals and capture them for the wild, but the benefits of doing so are enormous. We're in a global pandemic. It's killing tens of thousands of people. The recession that could result from it could devastate the economy for years worldwide. So it's a small thing to do when you put into context the benefits for human health, for the economy and for the animals themselves.
And are PETA putting pressure on? So how are you acting?
We've got a petition to the Director General of the World Health Organization. So you can sign that by going to peter.org.uk. We've already got over 100,000 signatures, and we're part of a coalition of 200 wildlife protection and animal groups that are also putting pressure on the World Health Organization. Thankfully, the United Nations is also calling for wet markets or wild animal markets to be closed. So there's pressure coming from all directions.
And so there are other issues, obviously, with trafficking of these animals also, and you worry about other species becoming extinct.
There's 1 million species that are at risk of extinction right now. It's a combination of factors. You've got wildlife trafficking, you've got climate change, you've got habitat loss, so humans encroaching onto wild animal habitats. And then there's the factory farming of cows, chickens and pigs, which is using up enormous areas of land on the planet and therefore decimating the natural habitat of wild animals. In the UK, there's the exotic animal trade in terms of the pet trade. There's over 300,000 snakes in people's homes. There's exotic animals like monkeys, lizards, owls. It's totally unregulated.
Well,
we
Carys,
should be looking at this as a problem as well as in China.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the loss of any species is a loss to the entire planet. Carys, thank you very much indeed. Sorry we couldn't bring you Dr. Jane Goodall. We'll try her again because her argument is also, fascinating, looking at it from a scientific perspective. Maybe the fact that that we're all living the life we're all living at the moment will be a bit of a wake-up call to the world. I mean, these things can affect people individually or affect small communities, or, as with SARS or MERS, quite a lot of people. Suddenly, when the entire world is in lockdown, maybe this is the wake-up call.